Good evening everyone and welcome to today's art stream. Thank you all very much everyone already in chat. Thank you so much Mesa Randy for following, and to Rebel as always for hosting, which is awfully kind of you. As you can see, today I'm working on this cute little tiefling. I get a lot of purple tieflings, which I adore. I love tiefs. And yes, I am well. It's been a busy week already, and we've only kind of just started Wednesday. I had to do boring car stuff yesterday, so MOT and all that jazz. But all done, which means I can focus on the important things, which this week is art, as always, and Destiny Beyond Light. But yes, I'm doing very well. And yeah, this is the lady we're going to work on today. As you can see, I've almost entirely finished one outfit for her already. Tieflings are very important. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be finishing off, I need to shade this kind of crystal necklace that she's wearing. And I'm also going to be doing a fairly subtle edit on the horns. We're going to bring out those spirals a bit. At the moment they're a little bit too tight. And then what we're going to be doing is copying across the line art from this one, erasing all the areas where we've basically got the fabric and texture of this outfit, and we're going to be adding a totally new outfit and hairstyle for like kind of a ref sheet sort of jam going on. And yes, this character belongs to Shannon J622 in chat, and they are a delight. I've actually painted them before, so it's really lovely to kind of paint the same character a few months later, see how they've kind of changed and progressed. I find that quite fun. Anyway, let's kick straight off. So what I'm going to do is we need to change these horns a little bit. Unfortunately, this is not something that can be done with the wonderful magic of the liquefy tool. This is going to have to be a by hand sort of job. I have to choose my wording there rather carefully. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to tidy up my layers a little bit. I see these are all the layers for the outfit. I'm going to put all those in a group, as you can see, because then I can see easily layers for hair. I'm going to turn that off. Layer for the skin, also going to turn that off. I might turn that off too while I'm here. I'm going to turn off this layer too. So we're basically down to the line art. If you want to see what it looks like, there's another layer. There you go, Shiny's layer turned off as well. This is what the line art looks like underneath. So what we're going to do is to start off with, I'm going to name this line art so I know what we're doing. I am firstly going to duplicate it. So we've got a kind of a master copy. Yep. Photoshop's being a little bit slow. It's because I've been playing Destiny all day. Oh dear. Come on, Photoshop. All I asked you to do was select something. There we go. And next we are going to just take down the opacity. Let's turn that off on this line up. Right down. And make a new layer because we want to draft the shape of these horns out. So we're going to take a nice fairly pale grey, making sure the layer is set to multiply. And we're going to take a bigger brush because we don't want to go in straight away with detail. I'm a bit concerned about lag. Thinking what other layers I can turn off to make this easy as possible. Yeah, someone needs to carry this shiny Slayer torch, it's true. Right, so with this new layer, we're going to essentially use it to draft, starting the horns in the same rough kind of place. We want to bring the spiral out, probably out and down. So that we can see the ear poking through a little bit, I think. And this is often how I draft horns. They can be a bit tricky, but this way we can see the ears through the shape of the horn. It's a bit less tightly curled. Kind of see if we zoom out how that's roughly gonna come across. I'll switch back to the eraser I had before. There we go. So yeah, that's a little bit more loose than what we had before. You can kind of see, brought that out and down a bit. Hey Lafroy. Yeah, cozy lockdown afternoon for me too, basically. This side is still gonna look fairly tightly curled, if not just for the fact that we've got a slight angle going on. Hey Zenfire, welcome to today's stream. So you can kind of see we're keeping the same basic shape. Thank you so much, Ravens Guild UK, for following. So I often zoom out to make sure I'm okay with the kind of how symmetrical the horns are. As you can see, this one on this side needs to come down a bit. Like so. But the actual starting point will stay roughly the same. But this also means you'll see some more air on this side. But yes, those are now a little bit less tightly curled than the original horn design. So what we can do is just a little bit more, not so much tweaking, but just adding a few more kind of construction lines in there. There we go. Then we will be ready to take that and alter the line art a little bit. I might just bring it in a tiny bit on this side. These horns aren't too thick, so we don't want to go overboard with them. Okay, I am happy with that. So, forgive me, my throat's a bit ragged today. What I'm going to do is we are going to take the opacity of this sketch right down, put it below the line art. Then on the line art itself, we are, actually I'll take that off, we're going to, there we go, erase where the horns currently are, which kind of hurts because we're taking off quite a bit of the line art. I'm going to have to readjust a lot of the colour layers, but you know, that's the way it goes. Yep. So we can now turn back on the sketch, which allows us to see other places. We just need to trim the line art back a wee bit, but that should be fine. So the next step is to turn the line art back up to full opacity. Make sure we've got the correct line art colour selected, because that's a darker grey than we used for sketching. And then we're just going to go right back in and replace the line art we got rid of with the new stuff. So I'm going to do this with a 6 nice small brush to get the detail in the horn shape. And we've got like a gentle ribbing kind of effect on the horns. And then we can put in some extra hairlines there. As we come around. Thank you so much, the Albert of Sartre, for following. I hope I said that right. Actually, I'm not sure if I like that line there. We'll address that soon. And we'll just have this come around. Hey Morville, welcome to the stream. Always lovely to have you here. And we've got the side coming in there. And just a little hint of the construction line from the top. And I'm actually going to do this construction line coming further down. Alright, so we have a wider horn version now, but I'm kind of tempted. This line up here needs to be moved up a wee bit. Sorry, I get very perfectionist-y with line art sometimes. Okay. And then just softening this line as well. Don't want the lumps to be too strong on there. Okay, so let's just do the other side and then we'll fill in the places where we need to kind of add lines that we took away. Wonderful. Ah, that's good to hear. Lovely. Sometimes you really gotta like squint. It's horns are a weird one. Getting the symmetrical nature of them at a point that you like can be really tough. Goodness gracious, I really have a frog in my throat this evening. That's better. Okay, yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's coming along. And then we'll have that similar kind of construction line coming down there. And now we can replace some of these areas that we have taken away stuff from. So we can draw the edge of the ear coming up here, a little pointed ear there. And on the other side, just seeing the edge of the ear got there. And then a bit of hair. And what we've got, this character actually has a bit of an undercut, so we'll do the top layer of hair as it comes down across there. And then just the suggestion of some shorter strands that comes down there. Alright, and we've updated the horns. Oh my goodness, Rebel, thank you so much for the sub gifts. That's incredibly kind. Oh my goodness, we got some spam as well. Lucky us. Huh. But yes, we can now get rid of that sketch layer to see kind of the horns there. And if we want to do any... Oh, there's one line we haven't done, actually. Oh, Rebel, you are wonderful. Nice. Okay, so we've got that done. What I am going to do very quickly, because I am a sucker for being symmetrical, we're going to go into Liquify very briefly. Just zoom in on that area we're working on right now. About 200 is good. I'm just going to bring down the edge of that horn ever so slightly. Nice, I'm happy with that. Okay, so with that done, we can now start turning back on all these layers we had before. Now, a lot of them are going to be in the wrong place, because we have moved things around a bit. We can actually get rid of that sketch layer now. But that's alright, we'll make some adjustments. That's easily done. Cool, so we will start with the skin layer. So let's take off hair for a minute. The first thing I'm going to do is making sure it's unlocked. Take away the bits that go over the lines where we want them. Oh, we actually need the ear in there, so we'll paint that in a minute. Oh, well, thank you so much, Rebel, for your generosity and kindness. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you on Friday. And that bit there, of course, is also hair, so we can get rid of that. Tiefling horns are always really, really fun to paint. Alright, so now we've tidied up that somewhat. I'm just trying to think how I want to go about this. I think I might just repaint the horns. So what that will mean is firstly filling in the new areas that we need to be filled in. If Photoshop gets its act together. I have so little patience for Photoshop shenanigans now. Sick of Photoshop just messing around. There we go. There we go. Just coming around that bend. fill in like so. Take a tiny bit more off there. Oh, there's a Tiefling Bard in the party I'm playing with that's absolutely wonderful. I love him to bits. Very precious, must protect. Alright, then we're going to come around and fill in this horn's kind of new area as well. Nice, and with that done, we can now lock the area. And we're going to need to paint over a lot of this old kind of stuff and redo it. But that's okay. What we're also going to do... Oops. Make sure that ear is the right colour. Alright, so now the area is coloured in, what I'm going to do is go back to the original gradient I started with. And we're also going to get rid of these because they now don't line up, but we can fix those in a bit. Oh, I've got a bit more to get rid of here, actually. There we go. And then we can start blending in to get this gradient of dark to light. Like so. And once we're going to do a bit more of that down here, actually, just so it blends nicely into the base skin tone. Like so. And then we'll take the darkest point of the natural gradient of the horns and use it just to fill in the tips. Okay, and now we can go about adding back the kind of the ribbed kind of texture. So what we're going to do there is make a new layer above the colours, just the tip. And we're going to set that to multiply. And what we're going to do is pick a very gentle pale magenta with a fairly large brush size. And then just add this effect. And because it's a multiply there, it will affect the colour with shadow as we kind of get darker. And then it fades out as we kind of get further on. Also use it to add just a little bit of shading, like so. And we'll have a little bit of shadow coming in from underneath just there. And then we'll do the same thing. Back up to a larger brush size. with a smaller brush, continuing that down around the rest of the horn, coming down and across. Like so. And then what we're able to do is I'm going to merge that down. Oops. Unintentional there. I'm going to add just a little bit of light to the top of the ear there and there. And then we can take a darker colour to add just a touch more dark shadow. Just in little corners. Like so. And then going back up to that layer earlier, we can kind of do the opposite. We'll take the lightest, whoops, making sure we're on all layers. Take the lightest colour based on the skin. Make that a tiny bit brighter. And use that to make kind of a highlight going down based on the construction line that we created earlier. And then we can add a little bit of highlight coming down on the sides. Like so. And I'm just gonna save. And now we can edit the hair, because the hair will have to be had a few bits messed with. Very minimal with the hair. We're basically just extending the edges of it more than anything. Because now we've got a few more bits that are visible. Whoops, we're on the wrong layer. Let's just get rid of that. Make sure we're on the right layer, and then put the colour in. And then we can also see from that we need to just remove a tiny bit more up here. Okay. Alright, so that's the horns altered. Next thing to do is to shade this little talisman, this little necklace that she has. So we're actually going to get rid of that line art copy now that we've got new line art. We're going to make a new layer for this under the hair. Let me just, it's kind of wrapped in kind of a goldy silver, and the crystal itself is white. So starting with this as a base tone for the wire wrapping, and going down to a 6. Gonna immediately go up to the shinies layer to select a much lighter tone. Oh my goodness, Photoshop, goodness gracious me, you test my patience. We're gonna save before we have any crashes. And I believe there is a tiny little bluish bit of bluish stone set into the top of the necklace. So, and then we can paint the rest of the crystal itself. So the crystal is like a very pale, kind of like whitish colours. So we're going to start with a off-white, very pale purple. Start with a nice kind of base layer to give us the colour we want. Then add a few darker areas kind of included inside the crystal. And then do the opposite. We'll add some bright areas as well that are really catching the light. Alright, you can kind of see the shape of the little crystal there. Just gonna add another kind of bit there, I think. We have the little crystal. And what I might do is I might even add just a bit of light coming down onto the cord. Alright, so let's do another save. And we can start work on the second outfit. So, we've kind of got I've got the previous sketch for the first outfit saved. Unfortunately, I did originally have just a sketch of the character's body type and body shape, but due to a Photoshop crash, that might have been lost. So, I'm gonna have to reconstruct that, which is great fun. So, what I'm gonna do is make, let's just put all that layer down. We're going to start off by making a new layer just to redefine the body shape like underneath the clothes. So with a rather pale grey. Oh, thank you so much, Anna J. I'm so happy you like her. The arm is already basically self-explanatory. We can already see the shape of the arm. As we can with the chest. I'm just going to draw a version of it without all of the fabric kind of getting in there. So that we can kind of see the shape the legs are making. So, just going to go over the bits that we already have first to make this a bit easier. And you can kind of see, just barely showing that, there is a line here which marks roughly the top of where the leg is. Suggests the other leg probably comes down from there. Like I said, this is just a very rough approximation based on what we've already got. Alright, and like I say, the other arm is pretty self-explanatory. Let's just put in the shape of the neck. As it comes down into the shoulder. And then what I'll probably do is do a slightly more dainty kind of version of these feet coming down here. Because, let me just have a quick look at the details for this character. The second outfit is going to be an evening dress, which is always delightful to design. Nice. I'm going to change the position of the feet ever so slightly, because we're probably going to give us some heels. Which means we're going to have a little bit more of a dainty shape going on here. welcome to today's stream. Lovely that you could make it. Alright, so we use this as the basic position for the feet. Just a little bit more dainty than the heavier boots that are being worn in the first outfit. Thank you so much, HollowPoint M16, for subscribing with Prime. It honestly means so much to me when people subscribe. It really helps out what I do, so thank you so much. And yes, Lizeth, I'm doing very well, thank you. Having fun designing Tiefling outfits today. So, the other thing that's going to change with this version is we're going to have an updo rather than the braid kind of going down the back. I think we're going to do... I think we're going to do kind of like a braided bun at the back of the head, so we're not going to see a huge amount of it, but we will see the edge of the braid just coming around, tucking under the ear. So let's go down to an 8, I think, just to work this out. So we're going to have the edge of a braid, probably just tucking around there. Just kind of show you roughly the shape that's going to take. Yes, we're going to have some cool tattoos that are going to be in the eventual piece for this one. Alright, so going back to the dress. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to follow this kind of sketch base for the body shape. I'm just going to fill in the arms first. Again, I wouldn't have to do any of this if my computer hadn't crashed and I hadn't lost the original body sketch, because I usually start with one. So this is going to be fairly spit and sawdust. Because I've already kind of done it once, so I kind of know the shapes we're going for. There's one arm, let's do the other one. And let's really quickly put in the vague shape of this hand. We've already done a lot of this line art. What we'll be doing when we get around to doing the line art is just taking away like the arm sleeve and stuff, because we don't need that anymore. So this sketch just has to be pretty rudimentary. I'm just gonna pop in the bottom of the chin so we can roughly see it when we're designing the outfit. Okay, I think that's enough for me to start working from. It's a very dress-up doll, I like it. We're going to turn that opacity of that right down. I'm actually going to keep this layer on, but likewise, it's going to be barely there, just so I can see a vague silhouette of the last piece we did. Might turn... Oh my goodness, come on, Photoshop. Get your act together. Let's save again. Right, so finally, oh, the shadow, we can keep that one. New layer. This is also sketching because we're going to be working out this dress. Let's keep it a 15 for now, and this shade of grey will do us fine. Alright, so to start with, this dress is a halter neckline. So we're going to start just by working out that neckline as it comes across. Like so, basically. Oh, thank you so much, Lezef. You look as you please. And then, nice that I have in the reference images, kind of shows where some of the some of the creases kind of fall already. Kind of got some coming up there. And then, as I expected, there will be some coming off the hips. And we have these panels that come down very light, like so, which anyone who is into dressmaking will know it sort of helps give you a nice shape to this sort of dress. And it's also where the slit is going to come from, which is going to come about there. And then we've got obviously got the other side of the dress coming down here. Like so. And then the slit side is going to flow over the thigh like so. And come down like that. Gonna lighten up that touch a bit. So this is the basic shape of our dress. We've also got this other seam line. I think it's either going to stop there or it flows down into the rest of the dress. I think in this case it will look prettier if it just kind of flows into the rest of the dress. And of course, because the slit's here, we can keep the tail in the same position, just peeking out like so. Alright, so with that, we've kind of worked out the dress position. There's going to be a tiny bit more ruching of the fabric around there, and then there will be a little bit of the fabric kind of scooshing up around where the hand is resting, like so. And then what we want to do is we want to just roughly work out how the fabric is folding together. So this helps us when we actually are lining this, because it's going to be quite complex, this sort of shape to line. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this whole thing, I'm going to move it this way a bit because we've got a bit of space to play with. Awesome. So I think we're ready to start a bit of a line work. Oh, let's work out the shoe. If I'm going more kind of based on like a fancy version of what I've got in the reference, the other foot is mostly going to be hidden by the dress, but we'll show the tip of the toe there. Let's go down to 12, keep it nice and small as Photoshop struggles to keep up. Let's save again. We've kind of got a sandal sort of situation going on, so toe goes way too far over. I hate drawing feet. I'll probably end up doing several iterations of of the toe, but I'll keep it just rough for now. Cool. And then there's like an ankle bit here. There we go. That about makes approximate sense. Feet are really weird to draw. What I'm tempted to do actually with this is stick on liquefy. Just pull some of these lines along a bit. Like so. And then we can show just like the edge of the other bit. Awesome. And then we can, I'm gonna duplicate this just in case I ever want to do any more outfits for this character, or Commissioner ever wants anything else for them. Then that base layer is done. But now we can erase the layers that are now being, the bits of that layer that are now covered up. Which helps us kind of see what we're doing a bit better. Alright, we can actually get rid of this one too. And there is our sketch for this dress. So, the next thing to do is actually, we're going to just make the canvas a little wider. Give us a little bit of an extra buffer on the bottom there. And now, hey, Sea Sentinel! Sea Sentinel, got one way around. Welcome to the stream. What we're going to do is we're going to turn that back on because we needed this to line up. We're going to merge those two together. Turn the shadow off so we don't get confused. And we're going to copy the line art layer we already have, and I'm going to paste in place. And now it's all about basically making sure it is kind of mapped to our sketch. All these rough kind of bits all line up, yes. Which is grand. And now we can start erasing everything that kind of goes against this new outfit. So, in this case, we'll be taking away quite a lot, actually. All the arms and fingers, because we need to do versions that don't have this glove arm sleeve on. In fact, we'll be basically removing this whole bit here, because the edges are going to be very different. We're not going to have the plate anymore either, so that's going to go. The face and neck are going to stay the same. The line of the shoulder can stay the same as well. Hi, Libriacano. I am doing very well, thank you. And yes, we're doing a secondary kind of ref sheet sort of thing for this particular character. The tail can stay the same. We need to get rid of all of this. That line for the leg can stay, but the boot has to go. That line, we might as well redo that whole leg. Same on this side, really. That all needs to go. So basically, we've arranged pretty much everything but the face at this point to reline. And we're also going to erase the back of the hairstyle because it's now changed. Which is a bit more of a delicate job. Okay, but the horns and all that can stay the same as it was. Okay, so without further ado, I think I might actually even get rid of some of this. Just do it from scratch, you know. We can now get on with some new lines. So we're going to turn this layer down. we already have a line art layer ready to go to start on, and so we're just going to go from there. So first thing to do is make sure we're in the right colour and the right size. So we're going to go down to a 7. And we're just going to draw in this braid to start with. With very light, fluid kind of brush strokes. And then there's a little bit on the other side as well, isn't there? So. Okay, now we can start on the dress and the rest of the skin. So with this line just gently coming down there, I'm going to switch to a 6 just temporarily as Photoshop gets its act together. Just going in with the neckline to start with. And then we can come down the side with this side of the halter. Which is obviously going to have a few creases that go like so. And kind of like the side of the underarm here as well. And in fact, we're going to go up to a 7 for the actual skin layers. Well, layers, the skin outline. And as always, keeping the touch incredibly light as we pop in the skin. And then we'll just pop in the fingers as well, I think. Might even be worth doing this based on the original line art than the new one, because I do need that control. And then just kind of popping in the edges of the fingernails like so, just to kind of suggest where they are, and then going back to the other sketch that we have ready to go. Alright, so we can carry on this line, coming down here, going back to a 7. And of course, we get the creases from having the hand resting on the fabric that come in. Where are these? Okay, there's a few little messy bits left over from the old line art I'm just gonna get rid of. There we go, they should be gone now. A little bit coming down here. Now we can come down the other side. And then slight creases around the waist where it kind of clings to the body there. Nope, that's not equal. And then if the lines ever get too thick, we just go in with the eraser tool, kind of shave them back. And then we'll just go down and fill in the other arm. Like so. And we can kind of join up with the fingers that were already there. Tidying up here and there where we've left a few lines in. There we go, that's kind of the top half coming in there. I might just pop in the very faint seam line here. And same roughly on the other side. Just a little bit of crease going on under the kind of cleavage there. And then some more creases that come down from the neckline there. Awesome, and then we can just carry on down. So flowing over the hip, we have this kind of nice slit going on. Sometimes straight lines, like this one, are the hardest to do. Thank you so much to Barrio and Angelus132 for following. Very, very kind, so thank you so much. Right, let's just follow that around and pop in the slit there. And then of course the line of the slit becomes this seam. Now this line's going to be quite tough, so... That's the first part. Really long dress lines, gosh, they are really tough to get looking smooth. Yeah, can I see how those seams, those kind of folds are coming in down there? Let's put in a few more of these ones there. and then we'll carry on doing the hem. And we kind of see the edge of the side seam coming down there, so we're just going to finish popping that in. And that becomes that line down there, so we just need to meet up that. And then just finish the little train that's coming around the side. Bit that kind of flows over kind of where the foot is coming there. And then we can just pop in this last bit. Alright, now we can do the leg and the other side of the dress, and then the line art's complete. Alright, so now we can paint in the little straps on the shoe. In fact, we've kind of got the ankle that comes in there, so... shave this side down a little bit. And I think this bit's going to need me to go down to a 6. And it's a little callback to kind of like the braid theme we have going in a few places. No, I can't draw a line all of a sudden. I'm just going to do like a simple braided design on this strap here. Very basically mark out the edge of the toes. I'm going to keep this very simple. and then we've got obviously the most important part of the heels. The heel itself, which will actually be coming in more like there. And then we just got to do the other side of the dress. And the tail, actually, which is going to come up like this. And then we're going to actually lighten this a little bit here because it's a bit too heavy. Okay, and then new layer just for this bit. So I can just do a line straight and then erase later. Going back to a 7. Like so. We can now turn off the sketch and then just erase the parts in this layer where the tail is going to be cutting across. Alright, and we have a line art, everyone. So now let's merge these two together so we have the complete line art all done. Oh wait, no we don't. We haven't done this toe down here. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, it's about the same size. Okay. Very kind of gently suggesting the edge of the foot down there. And now we can get rid of that sketch layer we no longer need. Okay, so with that done, we can start colouring, which is the bit that we all really want to do anyway. So we're actually going to start off borrowing from the first layer, because the hair and the skin are going to be the same, mostly. So we are going to copy 1, 2, 3 layers. We're then going to do an edit, paste special, paste into place, move them under the line art, and then play a game where we try and make sure it's lined up. Oh, has it auto lined it up for me? I think it almost has. There we go. I think that's in the right place. Okay, so oh, that's from the line, isn't it? Let's just cut that down there. So with that, that saves us a bit of time because we can reuse some colours and stuff. We also need to do though is make sure they all adhere to their new places. Of course, the braid's going to take a bit of changing. Yeah, absolutely. I could show you size DPI. Just give me a second. Let's erase a few little bits. We need to get rid of all of this hair up until about that point there. In terms of size DPI for this particular image, I am working with about 4.5K by 4.3 because I like to have the biggest kind of area to be working in. DPI is 300 pixels an inch. Which makes a rather large file size, which is why Photoshop does lag from time to time. But yes, hopefully, if there's anything else you want to know, just ask. Right, I'm going to save again. And then I'm going to start correcting some of these skin and hair bits. I'm going to start with the hair because that's going to be the easiest one. There's not too much to do here. We'll start off just by filling in this new kind of braid braided kind of bun. No problem at all. And then do the same on the other side. And then once again, locking that, we're just going to add a little bit of light here and there. Just to give it a little bit more texture. Okay, and now we need to fill in the skin. As you can see, we've got a lot of skin that needs to be added. So we're going to start with that base colour and just start popping that in manually. So if we do my brush settings quickly. Why is that off? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing, aren't I? Silly me. There we go. There we go, that's already right. This will probably also highlight some areas of line art that need shaving down too. Such as... let's name that. There's a few whispers left over here and there. This is usually the most tedious part, to be honest, of this process, just filling in the base layers. There are some programs that can do this for you a lot quicker. Photoshop is not one of them. It does not do it clean enough for my liking, which is why I paint my base layers by hand. Going to carry on down here. And then come across. And we'll paint right over these shadows that we've already kind of established because we don't need those anymore. And I'll probably change her nail color as well for this. Alright, let's do the same on this side. Once again, we can see a few places to take off some line art. It's kind of nice that we can use the color areas from the original outfit as a base point to kind of build from here. It saves a lot of time. thank you so much to Shades Knives for following. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Right, we're nearly done with this step. Just do this fingertip. The other one can stay dark because it's slightly in shadow. The last bit to do is we can actually just use the shading we've got here. I think we'll keep most of this. And of course we have to do the leg. And the foot. So what I might do with that is I might actually do that on a new layer so we don't go over where we've just done the tail. And start a shading. Oh, that's not, what's that line there? What you doing there, buddy? You shouldn't be there. There we go. And we'll just get a slightly smaller brush as we shade in the slit up the hip. There we go, and then we'll just come down to the rest of the leg. Okay, and then the bottom part of the foot. And the last part, just do the toes. And then on this side. Poking out there from under the hem of the dress, and there we have a skin layer. So I'm gonna keep that leg separate for now. I'm gonna do a save, and then we can start shading said skin. Oh no, we're not actually quite done. Tell a lie. We need to do this part of the neck, as it now comes down a wee bit further than it did. Right, now we can clip it. When Photoshop lets me. Okay, now we can start adding some shading to the body. To do this, it's very simple with the flat shaded style. We're just identifying kind of the basic shapes in the arm and elsewhere. So for example, kind of the bicep has a nice kind of round shape to it, so we can kind of highlight that. And then any shadows cast by the dress, which wouldn't really be there now I think about it. Adding a few soft shadows here and there. And some places just turning it down like that. Okay. Gosh, suddenly it's getting very windy outside. I don't know if you can hear it on the mic. Okay, so that's that one side with the first shadow color. Now we do the other side. And then just gently adding those shadows in between the fingers when Photoshop lets me. There we go. And then some places we can add the really dark stuff just in kind of areas like that. Like so. What I might do is I might add a bit of light to the neck. It's not quite as dark now, we haven't got such a big collar. Even carry this around a bit. Thank you so much to Azurikin for the follow. There we go, that's better. Much softer. Okay, so now let's shade the leg very much the same way. When Photoshop gets it. Oh, it's this layer, isn't it? Yeah. For once, it wasn't Photoshop's fault. It was mine. I'm actually going to just introduce this colour for the lower half of the leg in general. And then adding in that real dark shading for a couple of places here and there. Just here, around kind of the toes. And then the super dark, I can just go in a couple of spots. Tell you what, there's probably going to be some dark shadow on this foot because this foot's mostly shaded. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, so last thing I want to do is add some colour to the nails. So starting with this one, we're going to actually go for a nice deep indigo blue, kind of similar to the hair, and the eventual colour of the dress. I'll just do that there. Yeah, because at the moment it's looking a bit too skew-if. Might change the line out a tiny bit, but that's fine. So that one's not going to be very visible when we finish, so don't have to worry too much about keeping that one super tidy. Then we are going to just trim back this bit of line up there. Then we can shade here. I'm going to make the brush a bit smaller, down to a 6. Oops. Keep forgetting that this is no longer clipped. And then as for the highlights, I'm actually going to do this on they're above the line art. Alright, let's save again. Okay, and I think for now that's probably where we're gonna leave it. We have got quite a lot done today with the full new line art, and we got the skin popped in for the new piece, so that's pretty good. I will probably be finishing this piece this evening, so hopefully you'll be able to see it later tonight on my Twitter, is where I usually upload these things, though I'll probably put this one on Instagram as well, because character outfit sheets always go down well. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to pop some links in chat. If you want to see this piece finished, as I just mentioned on Twitter, here is my Twitter. If you follow me there, then you'll see all my stuff as I finish it. On the other hand, if Instagram is more your scene, I will spell it right, and you'll be able to find me there. there we go. There's my Instagram, so if you want to see this kind of art finished, then you can check it out there. Third up, ArtStation. If you are purely looking for my portfolio, my best pieces of work, ArtStation is where you can find them. So do pop along, have a look at that if that's what you're interested in. Next up, YouTube. If you missed the start of this stream or my other art live streams and would like to catch up on those, do check out my YouTube. I only made it a few weeks ago, but there's quite a few videos on there already. It basically has all of the recordings of my streams for you to have a look at, and all the music and stuff is on them as well, so enjoy. Next up, speaking of music, if you enjoy the music that you've been hearing on my stream today, it's all by a very lovely artist named Kai Engel. It's great royalty-free stuff that's really atmospheric. It's great for streaming and D&D and all sorts of stuff, so check that out. And last but most certainly not least, if you like what I do and want to kind of support this being my full-time occupation, which it is, please consider checking out my Patreon. There are various rewards at different levels, from exclusive artwork and sketches, works in progress, to step-by-step tutorials, which I've done a couple of. There's just a few different goodies on there, and tiers at all different levels, so check that out if you would like to kind of help support my work. So, I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else that I have missed. And so, thank you all so very much for joining me this afternoon. I will be back on Friday at 5 o'clock GMT, UK time. Once again, as usual, I will make sure to post on Twitter and stuff about when I'll be going live and stuff, so keep an eye on that. And until then, have a lovely week, stay warm and stay safe, and I will see you all very soon. So, goodbye for now, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!